Hi, I'm here with Jeremy from Pure Maintenance, and I'm excited to share some information about him and his company. So we're going to jump right in. And Jeremy, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and your company and why you got involved?
As you said, my name is Jeremy Evans. I'm the regional manager for Pure Maintenance here in Utah. We're a mold remediation company, a non-demolition mold remediation company, and we started back in 2007. Actually, my dad and my uncle started the company. It is kind of a cool story. My dad found the technology and paired with my uncle who was doing maintenance on buildings, and we started doing hospitals mostly, and we actually did the Utah County Jail, and we were doing a lot of virus treatments actually, sterilizing and fumigating buildings for that. Then we started taking it into the residential setting, started doing mold treatments, and we found really good success there. Um, and so it's kind of taken off from there, and we've expanded, and it's actually in almost every state in the U.S. now.
Nice.
In the last few years, we've expanded quite a bit. So.
Great. So tell me a little bit about what the actual process of your company does. I know obviously it eliminates mold in homes, but walk me through that process of how that looks and what's different about your company versus the others that are out there.
Yeah, it is a little bit different approach to a mold remediation because we try not to tear into walls. And basically, to give you a picture, you think of those carpet cleaning companies where they back the truck in and they bring the hosing in, and we've got a similar setup nowadays. We have all the machinery in our trucks. We bring the hosing in with these, it's pretty high-tech heads that create a very dry fog. We call it a dry fog because it's dry, it doesn't get anything wet, which is really important, right? Especially with mold, you don't want to get anything wet. And then we basically fill up the entirety of the space, the home, the basement, the attic, whatever. So it kills anything in the air, kills anything on the surfaces, leaves a really clean, sterile environment, and we didn't have to tear down any walls. In cases where it is behind walls,
Yeah.
if we know there was a leak, or we actually just drill really teeny little holes like about that big, and when we fill that space with fog, we'll start pumping it behind the walls and kill it, and then we just patch those holes. And the benefit there is we usually can do a home in about 4.5 hours,
Okay.
top to bottom.
It's fascinating to hear a little bit more about what your company does and how it's different because I know when I've seen people go in and try to remove the mold, it's a process. It's, they're having to tear out walls, they're having to remove everything and gut everything. And in this case, this seems like it's a lot more cleaner process and less damage and less cost to the home as well. Which brings me to mind, tell me how people go about getting a hold of you and what is the cost for someone to hire you to come in?
Traditional mold remediation is really expensive. It can be. I've
Mm-hmm.
just talked to some people who spent $15,000, $18,000, $20,000 on a
Wow.
project
Sure.
because it's so involved. And so ours is much cheaper. It does depend a little bit on the house, but a rough estimate is 80 cents a square foot.
Okay.
So 2,000 square foot home, $1,600.
Yeah.
3,000 square foot, $2,400. And sometimes it'll be a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more,
Sure.
depending on the severity. But it kind of stays in that $2,000 range, and it doesn't go much outside of that. And so it's not out of people's price range typically.
Share with us a little bit about what you bring to the association as well, outside of your product.
Yeah, so we're relatively new members to the board, and we've gotten involved in the CE classes as sponsors. So we'll come and provide some treats and explain our process and how we could fit into your business. So we've been doing that. We've done several of those so far, and we look forward to doing many more in the future. I'm currently in the process of signing up to become a CE instructor, and I'll do probably an hour-long mold course for anyone who wants to understand it better and how to deal with it and understand it as a real estate agent. And because I really think if you do this for more than just a couple of years, you're going to encounter it at one time or another. It pops up pretty regularly.
Well, I certainly appreciate you taking the time for us to get to know you better and for our Realtor community to get to know you as well.
Yeah,
If you don't know Jeremy and you have not worked with him or had an opportunity to meet him, please take a moment to get to know him if you see him out there in the field. And why don't you tell us how they can get a hold of you if they are in need of your services?
sure. You can call me on my personal cell. It is 801-540-2322, and I answer it. I'm very good at answering my phone. That's one good thing. I have weaknesses, but that's one of my strengths. Puremaintenance.com is our website, and then my email is jeremy@puremaintenance.com, and I respond to that every day, multiple times a day as well. So
Again, thank you so much for being here. I encourage you to spend some time to get to know one of our new affiliates to our association, Pure Maintenance. Thanks so much.
thanks.